Welcome to the first round of the playoffs. We have the Coweta Tigers visiting the Tahlequah Tigers here at Doc Wadley Stadium at Northeastern State University campus here in Tahlequah. And Brian, we made it to the first round of playoffs, and the Tigers have met before. The first time the Tahlequah Tigers hosted the Coweta Tigers here. They beat them 47-37, but we have the presentation of colors. So let's take a moment and recognize that.
And now, will you please stand for the playing of tonight's national anthem. Under the direction of Mr. Josh Allen, the Tahlequah High School Orange Express.
Done by the Tahlequah Orange Express Marching Band. But folks, welcome to Tahlequah, Oklahoma, Doc Wadley Stadium. This is the third time in 365 days that these two teams have met. They met in the playoffs last season, in 2017, and they met in week 2 of this season. This is the second year in a row that these two teams have met in the first round of the playoffs. Last year, Tahlequah won 19-7 in the playoffs. Then Tahlequah lost in the next round to Bishop McGuinness. And these two teams met, like I said, in week 2. Tahlequah won 47-37. Coweta holds a 7-3 overall advantage in the series over the last 10 games. So, Brian, we're going to talk about Coweta so far. Coweta, they finished 4th in the district. They ended the season with the win over Glenpool, but limped into the playoffs with a 4-6 record. They're coached by Tim Holt Jr., and even though Coweta is behind the 8 ball, they are a very talented group. They're led by a Division I prospect quarterback, J.D. Geneva. He's a very talented passer. He's passed for over 2,600 yards and 28 touchdowns on the season. And he has a very nice receiver in Blake Lair. It's probably Lair. Blake Lair, a junior. In fact, Geneva's a junior also. Lair has 40 receptions for 833 yards and 14 touchdowns. Defensively, Coweta is led by junior linebacker Blake Garman, and then their front four has thrown out about 25 sacks in the season. So defensively, they can get after you. They're not the biggest defensive team in 5A, but they have great team speed and a gang tackle, which means a lot of those jerseys show up at one time. Bottom line, Coweta hasn't made it past the first round since 1998. They know they're the underdog. They played this team twice, so look for them to play with a little chip on their shoulder and look for them to kind of throw everything at the Tahlequah Tigers, including the kitchen sink.
Yeah, hey, man, I'm not the smartest of guys in the world here, but I was talking to young Eric stepson that's here with us, he asked me who was going to win. I said, I'm pretty sure that the Tigers and Orange and Black are going to win.
One of the Orange and Black teams will win.
Yeah, that's right.
Most definitely.
Man, to this point, Tahlequah started the season 5-0. They kind of got punched in the mouth, and we were here for that game by Collinsville. It was 43-8, and folks, if you can believe it, I didn't feel like it was that close.
No.
They closed the season with 4 straight wins, including that tough win, was it last week, to put them in over Claremore, to put them in to get this home game. They ended up 9-1 in the season, finished their district at second. Coach Brad Gilbert's in his 7th year at the helm. The running game is what gets the Tigers moving on offense. Day Leather has rushed for almost 1,600 yards so far this season. That's about 157 per. So look for the Tigers to ride him as long as they can all night long. Defensively, the Tigers will run a 3-4. They're led by a very, very active linebacker. That was the one part of their defense that consistently showed up when we watched Collinsville. They really showed that night. They didn't get a lot of help, but linebackers Zach Fuentes and Dylan Parrish have combined for 113 tackles so far this season. Senior defensive end linebacker Cale Goodnight is listed as a VIPE top 100 player, has 40 tackles and 10 sacks so far this season. The bottom line on Tahlequah, they learned a lot in that loss to Collinsville, according to Coach Gilbert. It woke up some of the kids, and he related that maybe some of his kids needed to be woken up, right?
Yeah, that's one thing he said was some of those kids, they need to be woke up a little bit. They need to be kind of shook up just a hair. And, and the one loss, it's not a bad loss necessarily. You're still second in the district. Now, granted, if you win, if Tahlequah wins, they will be traveling either to Ardmore or Piedmont, and I don't think you want to go to either one of those places, to be honest. But, that's just the way it is. But I think Tahlequah could actually be one of the favorites in 5A.
Yeah, that in that game, and we talked about it during, and we've kind of talked about it since, as we saw Tahlequah start to pick themselves back up off the mat and continue on with the season, that we don't think it was representative of Coach Gilbert and his program. And I'm pretty sure that that's what probably hurt him the most, is that when that ball started rolling the wrong direction, he didn't have anybody to stand up and stand in front of that ball and get it pushed in the other direction. So,
well, it was almost like an avalanche. It just started going, and everything that could kind of go wrong in the first quarter did.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat. And he's got a good group of kids, and he's got a great coaching staff. And Coach Gilbert's one of our most favorite coaches.
Yeah, I love talking to him, man.
You see Coweta coming out of their locker room right there with, they've got a kind of a matte black helmet and a glossy.
Oh, those are black, man. In the pregame, I would have swore up and down that those things were orange. From way up here,
they look orange, don't they?
On the 15th floor of Doc Wadley Stadium, they look orange.
They've got that orange stripe on top, and they do give off an orange glare. But yeah, they're matte black with an orange stripe and an orange tiger paw. Tahlequah comes out on the field, and they are in black jerseys, orange helmet, and white pants. And the Coweta Tigers will be in all white with a matte black helmet. You can see the Tigers down there in the middle of the field with the big tiger in the middle of them.
So this is the story of who wants to get on to their basketball season and who wants to stay on the road to that football gold ball.
Right. I was going to say both teams have had, they were in tough districts, and there was no slouches from top to bottom. Even though, for instance, like Pryor, they didn't make it to the playoffs, they're still a pretty daggum good team.
Neither did Dakota. And we know how Dakota was. So sometimes you're just in a tough district, man. It's just the way the cookie crumbles.
The way the cookie crumbles, and so we'll see. So we are set for our first playoff game of the season, and next week, where we will be dictated by who does what tonight. And of course, Brian will be without me next week.
Yes.
I get to take
is taking his long overdue honeymoon.
My honeymoon and first vacation in Man, it's probably been 10 years.
Boy, I hope I don't tune in to hear a Wookiee sighting there in Vegas.
We're gonna tear it up in Las Vegas. So if anybody wants to send us any money to put in a slot machine for you, just let me know. I'll be happy to take the money.
Looks like the Coweta Tigers won and deferred, so Tahlequah is going to take the ball.
And that should be Day Leathers back to return, setting on his 12-yard line, or standing rather. Running 5 cameras tonight, and very excited to see all the new angles. And it is a deep, kind of a pooch kick.
Keeping it away from
and
Leathers. That backfired on him.
That backfired. He's at the 50, the 40. He's at the 30. They're going to catch him from behind, and they're going to push him, knock him down at the 15.
I'm trying to catch the number, folks.
Did you see what number that was?
I forgot my binoculars.
I did too. I didn't think about bringing my binoculars. We've got some young eyes up here, so maybe let's watch it on replay right here, see if we can see who that was. And number 10.
Kobe Baker.
Kobe Baker.
He stood out to us last time.
And yes, Baker had a good game last time.
Pocket Hercules.
Pocket Hercules. I don't think that's what Coweta wanted to happen. And now the Tahlequah Tigers will set up shop on the 14-yard line.
Shotgun formation, sidecar left. Now Baker's in motion.
And it's going to hand off the Leather straight up. Bounces to the left side. He's at the 10.
Oh, he fumbled the ball.
And it's going to be recovered
man.
in the end zone by Tahlequah, or by Coweta.
Coweta, sure. He fumbled it and went right to him. It slipped right out of his hand, Eric.
Fumbled at the 6.
He almost fair caught it. Let's watch this replay again.
And he's on the sideline like he's hurt.
Man, look at that. He was just like an intended receiver.
And Leathers is on the sideline being attended to. He was holding. You can see him down here in the behind the light pole.
Oh, yeah, I can see him.
Yeah, he's down there. He's holding his hamstring. So let's hope nothing like that happens.
And meanwhile, we've got the Coweta Tigers.
Meanwhile, Coweta, J.D. Geneva, your quarterback. The ball will be placed on the 20 because it's essentially a touchback. Fumble through the end zone. So already we have all kinds of action in the first, the first 28 seconds of the game. Single 5 wide receivers, nobody in the backfield. Geneva calls for hands off. It's a reverse.
Oh, it's a flea flicker.
Flea flicker. He's going there. He's got a man at the 40. Oh, goodness gracious. Fell out of his hands, and that was the intended receiver was trying to get a number on that. There we go. Number 10, Blake Lair.
Hit their number 1 receiver. Little razzle dazzle. Thank you, Coweta, for treating me to my first flea flicker of the year.
We called it in the pregame that they're going to throw everything and the kitchen sink at him.
Well, that wasn't a kitchen sink. I think that was. I think they still got this kitchen sink in reserve.
Single back and handed off to Spoon, and
there was a little trouble at the mesh point there, Eric.
It's like Geneva wasn't sure if he was going to hand it off or not.
Well, man, dadgum. I think that Lair misjudged that. That thing was a rocket, man. He threw that from the 15 and then landed there about the 30.
3 wide receivers on the bottom, 1 on top. Geneva looks deep and nearly picked off. At least it was knocked away.
Number 8 could have made a play on that if he could have found it.
And that was knocked away by
number 11. I think that's what I saw there. Yep, number 11.
Number 11, and that is Cole Goodnight. What in the world was Cole Goodnight doing for that far back? They've got him split out as a linebacker. All right, Coweta will punt as they have 4th and 11. Rugby-style punt, and it will take a Coweta bounce.
Baker back there to return. He smartly got away from it.
Ball will be down at the 32-yard line. And guess what is on the field that I like? Hash marks. Those hash marks.
Yes.
I complain about them often.
So really, I mean, Coweta didn't move the ball, but they have to feel like they dodged the first bullet of the night, the first haymaker.
Most definitely. Because that was a big old Gatling gun coming at him.
And Leathers is still not in the game.
He's not back in the game, and I believe that's Carson Ferguson that is in there.
Nope. Oh.
We can get a number on him. If it's 32, it would be Ferguson.
I think that's who it was.
So Ferguson will take the carry.
Yeah. And
will pick up 2 yards.
Was that little back that came in at the very end of that homecoming game?
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, we said, man, that young man's going to earn him some playing time. Now, look, first round of the playoffs, and he's on the field. Big carries.
Christian barks out signals, looks back over to the sideline. 3 wide receivers on the bottom, 1 on top for the Tahlequah Tigers. Ferguson in the backfield.
Having to burn a timeout. There was a lot of confusion.
A lot of miscommunication. Couldn't get the lineup right. So Coweta's dodged a bullet so far. A big bullet because they let a pooch kick. They're going to take a delay of game.
Oh, man. Coach Gilbert's not happy about that.
So that will back him up to a 2nd and 13. Christian's looking over for the signal.
Telling his offensive lineman, giving him the blocking scheme.
Holy cow, I say Christian, but I don't think that's who the quarterback. I think we've got a different quarterback than I had last time.
Oh, look at that
little slip screen out there. So that, I believe, is that your?
Yeah, that's pocket Hercules. All the quarterback's doing there is one of those count numbers deal. If the numbers match up, they're gonna run the football, and if they don't have enough out there, he's just gonna raise up and throw it. I mean, Coweta's running like a cover 4, so that safety's got to come down to make that tackle. And he has come a long ways, and pocket Hercules can run.
That is Tate Christian. I just had the number wrong. I had the name right. Christian, quarterback, takes snap. Going to hand it off to Ferguson. Ferguson trying to find a hole, and that's the difference between he and Leathers is Leathers is able to bounce that, and Christensen is more of a straight-ahead runner. I don't think he got the first down. It's going to be a yard short, so 4th and 1.
They appear to be going for it here. Nope.
Now they will swap out the punt team. Punt team will come in.
Now remember though, the
kicker's also the punter. I mean, the punter's also the kicker's a punter, and the punter's a quarterback.
Yes, he's all in one.
All in one. They're all cousins.
It's a 3-for-1.
Christian punts it away and bounces back, takes a Coweta bounce, and Tahlequah will down the ball at the 36-yard line in Coweta territory. So both teams have had a full offensive possession, and they've been able to move it downfield.
Yeah, neither team's picked up a first down just yet. And I know we talked about Coweta dodging a bullet, but hey, Tahlequah dodged a pretty big bullet of their own by that pass being a yard too long, you know?
Yeah, most definitely, because Larry could he
very could have easily took that to the limo.
So Geneva takes a snap, looks deep, and again batted away. And I believe it was that Goodnight? No, 17 Colton Booth that batted away this time.
They're just trying to get him on a little speed out there. The receiver looked like he rounded his break off. He came out of that break and rounded it off instead of squaring it off. Allowed the defensive back to make a play on it.
See who that running back is. 25, Piper Pennington.
And Coweta's changing from personnel. They've got a jumbo. Look at this, Eric.
See, that wasn't even on their scouting report. And they come in with a jumbo, and it's going to be a quarterback draw. Geneva's going to take it up the gut, or a little bit to the left.
Yeah, they went unbalanced left there and just ran it right behind all that unbalanced.
Well, when I talked to Coach Holt earlier in the week from Coweta, he wasn't real excited about giving me his starting lineup. And I promised him, we're doing TV here, and I'm not, and so see, I don't even have Pennington. He wasn't even listed as a starter, but he's a tailback there next to Geneva. Geneva looking to his left, back to the right.
He's got
all kinds of time. Has a wide receiver open and just throws it behind him.
I think he was counting on 11 there to sit down instead of
he kept floating a little bit. As Bryson Stevens was the intended wide receiver, and the ball was thrown behind him. But I tell you what, that offensive line, holy cow, gave him all kinds of time to throw.
Yeah, and the defensive backfield of Tahlequah did a good job. if he had sat down in that zone, he could have had a first down. But
Tahlequah puts pressure on the punt, and a nice punt for Coweta. Nearly
thought about it, didn't he?
Thought about picking it up there. It's
Come on, Hercules! Don't be doing that.
Roll dead at the 19-yard line. It's about a 40-yard punt for Coweta. Tahlequah will take over on their own 14.
I believe we're going to keep it right here.
We'll be down on the 14-yard line. Be 1st and 10 for Tahlequah. And let's see what Coach Gilbert has dialed up here for the Tigers.
And Leather still hasn't re-entered the game. He's at 32. He's like a freshman, isn't he?
He's a sophomore.
Young.
4 wide receivers, 2 top, 2 bottom. Christensen calls out the signals. Man in motion. Fakes the jet sweep. Got a man open. Oh, yep. That's got to be a pass interference because he cut him off when he was going up. So the man in motion was Kobe Baker, and the intended receiver was.
Is that 17 again?
I believe. Hard to see numbers there.
Yeah, it's 17.
Could be Colton Booth was your intended receiver.
11.
11, which was Cole Goodnight. So 15-yard penalty, pass interference on the Coweta Tigers, and he did cut him off. You'll see it here on replay.
His eyes were on the ball, but both the receiver and the.
I don't think if the defensive back wouldn't have jumped, he probably wouldn't have got called for it. But the fact he jumped into him, that's why he got called. He misjudged, yeah. 3 wide receivers on the bottom. Christian barks out signals, looks back to the sideline. Ferguson is still your tailback. Going to hand off to Ferguson. Got a nice hole up the middle, and again, unable to get much. He's going to pick up maybe a yard, and I think that's the difference between him and Day-Day. Leathers would have bounced that to the right and probably picked up 10.
You don't see that. We probably won't see the replay, but the right guard in the center did a fold block there. The guard kind of took a step back. The center took that defensive tackle, and then the guard went in and let him in the hole.
Christensen, quarterback, looks to throw. He's got a wide receiver, and that is Goodnight. Goodnight gets sandwiched after about an 8-yard pass and catch there.
Yeah, without their horse, they may have to use the run or the pass to set up the run a little bit, kind of loosen them up. Looks like Coweta's staying in that cover 4. And they can raise up and throw it to those slot receivers almost. You're going to get 3 or 4 yards almost every time.
H-back in the backfield. And Christensen's going to run a quarterback sweep to the left. Nothing.
No joy to the left, Ghost Rider.
So he will pick up a gain of 0, and that will bring up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, that's going to be fourth and
he
lost a yard there.
He did lose a yard. I'm watching on replay here. I think if he just would have bounced it out faster, he hesitated and allowed Coweta's defense to close in on him.
That young back hit that linebacker and then tried to climb to the safety instead of keeping his hat on him.
Christian's punt away, and it will bounce at the 42 and drift out at the 39.
So we got our first down of the game, that one via penalty.
Right. Coweta will take over in their own territory on the 38.
38, 37. I think they're going to give him 37.
We'll call it the 38.
Yeah, there are some hearty Tahlequah fans here, man. Look at all these blankets.
Yeah, it's awful chilly. It's supposed to get down in the 20s tonight.
Ooh, goodbye mowing season, folks.
Geneva takes the snap, going to fake the handoff look, and he's got a man open and dropped it at the 50.
That's that little read option that with the new wave offense, that little RPO look. Now the quarterback's coming out. Geneva's coming out. They ran him off the field, and looks like Tristan King is going to take this snap. 16. He's listed as a wide receiver and defensive end.
So you would think some sort of
heavy formation,
wildcat formation, and that's what King will take it. And
we got a penalty. I think it's either going to be an illegal formation or a hold.
See what they call here. May have been
it's illegal formation.
Illegal formation.
Yeah, just a 5-yard penalty.
So that'll back them up 5. And this will make it 2nd and 14. 2nd 15, excuse me. So the Geneva's had good time to throw, and he's had open wide receivers. Wide receivers have just kind of let him down a little bit.
Yeah, that last one, man, that one hurts. That was a hold.
Holding call, so backs him up 10. So this would bring up 2nd and 20.
Geneva throws a pretty ball there, man.
He does, and he has good footwork in the pocket. So I can see why he's a Division I prospect so far. And he looks to throw again, scrambles out of pressure, or sidesteps pressure, but the pass is batted down. The receiver, Blake Lair, wants a flag. That's not going to get it.
He thought that 17 there, Colton Booth was in there a little bit early. Yeah, that's exactly, that last play is exactly what you're talking about, man. The defensive ends both came upfield, and he saw them, but he didn't focus on them. You know, his eyes stayed downfield. He climbed the pocket a little bit and put a pretty good throw on.
4 wide receivers. Geneva's senior quarterback in the backfield. Takes snap, fakes it. He's got pressure. Trying to scramble out of pressure, rolls to his right, throws it on the run, and he's got a wide receiver. And I think it bounced off his hands at the 47, so no catch. And good defense by the Tahlequah Tigers will force Coweta into a punting situation.
Boy, neither team can't find a rhythm, you know. It's I don't even see leathers on the sideline anywhere down there.
We don't have our sideline reporter. Baker calls for a fair catch, but drops it.
Yep.
But I think got back on it. The officials had blown the whistle nonetheless. We don't have our sideline reporter down there for her to go find that out, so we'll have to.
Intrepid sideline reporter, Eric.
Yeah, our intrepid.
I like that word. Intrepid.
5:20 to go in the first quarter, and Tahlequah will take the ball over at their own 37, 38. So basically, they traded.
Referees are huddling up here. I don't know.
Trying to stay warm.
Power circle.
Power circle. I don't know. They're. I don't see any flags, but they're backing up like they're going to punt the ball again.
They've already moved the chain down.
I have yet to see any indication.
Well, he came over and did something to the.
Maybe there was an inadvertent whistle.
Very curious.
Maybe that's what I heard was an inadvertent whistle.
And Baker set up on his 39. It's right about where he caught the last one.
And he will fair catch it at the 39 once again. So we did it all for naught. Basically the same position. Tahlequah will take over on their own 39-yard line.
Boy, this game right now for Tahlequah, it almost seems like it's screaming for something to come out of the bag of tricks. Just something to spark them.
To light a little fire, because they've been playing with fire. Coweta has dropped a couple of passes. Ferguson is still your tailback. 4 wide receivers, 2 top, 2 bottom, man in motion. Christian's going to fake, nope, to jet sweep. And Baker bounces and will be brought down at, they're going to mark him at the 44-yard line.
About 5, so 5 yards to go. Good job, Pocket Hercules.
Cody Baker, sophomore, has 19 catches for 351 yards, 3 touchdowns this season. Christian marks out signals. 4 wide receivers, 2 top, 2 bottom. Ferguson is a lone setback.
That middle linebacker for Coweta is looking a little nosy.
See if they bring pressure this time.
Yep.
And option this time, and he did.
Oh, whoa, man. Coach Gilbert, he's going to have to take his young running back aside. He's telling him right now, would you go upfield, please? He probably, if he sticks his head down, he may get the first down there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he dipped out of bounds too quickly on the option to the near sideline. Brings up 3rd and 2.
So, Eric, to answer your question, young Eric, we're going to see at least one option today. He asked me in the pregame how many option plays we were going to see.
We've seen at least one. Christian, man in motion. And we'll hand it to Ferguson. Ferguson around the left side, and this time lowers his head but gets pushed out of bounds. Ferguson's not a very big young man.
No, he still, if he would have, even though he took on the tackler there, if he would have squared up, you know, it's easy for us from 15 stories in the air to say, man, if he would have just did this or if he'd have just did that. But he's a young tailback. Probably, I would bet that if you put true serum in, he wasn't thinking he was going to be the bell cow tonight.
No, most definitely. 4th and 1 will force Tahlequah to punt on their 47-yard line. 48-yard line, correction. And
wow.
I tell you what, Christian just he has not had a good punt yet.
No. And you can see Coach Gilbert's thinking that, you know, some people say, man, he needs to go for it on 4th and short, but the game's kind of settling in. He's kind of playing field position and just waiting for that spark to happen. So it looks like he came to rest at the 31.
It will be on the 33-yard line.
Almost at 34. Well, yeah, 33.
So 33-yard line, Geneva, the quarterback, will see what he can do with Coweta's offense now. 3 wide receivers, and
he's
wow.
met in the backfield, man. That right defensive end from Tahlequah, buddy. He came like he was shot out of a cannon. That was, I'll let you pick the I'm going to say it was either Strain or Goodnight. I'm not sure.
Well, I thought it was Nathaniel Justice, the big man there.
It was this guy right here. Y'all can't see me at home where I'm pointing, but it's that guy.
So that
Maybe
would be
33?
Isaac Strain. 34, Isaac Strain.
That's him, yeah. Well, that's a 3, though.
Oh, 33 would be Simon Escalera.
That's
outside linebacker. 3 wide receivers on top and 1 on the bottom. Actually, one's an H-back. He's going to fake it. Geneva's looking deep.
He's wide open.
Wide open.
Oh
my goodness. Nearly picked off. He hit a pick 6.
Yeah. Geneva was late on that throw, man. He was a good 3-4 counts late and then enabled the safety to get back into it.
And I believe that was Danny Lopez.
Man, that's 2 big plays that Tahlequah has missed on, man. You know, Coach Holt's got to be over there kicking himself, thinking, man, we've got to hit on one of these.
This brings up 3rd and 10 at the 33-yard line. So both teams have been playing with fire so far.
You know what they say? Oh, Tahlequah's showing a little bit of pressure here.
And they will bring pressure. Geneva lets it fly, and
he either got,
I think it was miscommunication. Receiver looked like he didn't know where he was going.
Well, I think he got hit as he was throwing it too, because it came out funny, or he tried to draw it back to him. That's the first time that Tahlequah has been able to put some heat on him.
Brings up punting situation, 4th and 10. Geneva's only connected. Has he connected on a pass yet?
No.
Nice punt.
Oh, man, it drives Baker back.
Baker's going to retreat
Ooh,
and
look
ball
at that
will bounce. Bounce dead at the 11. Wow, what a great punt for Coweta.
Yeah. Man, nice punt, young man. Who was that, the punter?
I don't have the punter on here, to be honest.
we missed his number. Sorry.
That may be Maverick Mills, who's the designated kicker here.
Man, we got a Maverick. Do we have a Ghost Rider? What about Slider?
Have not seen. I've seen a grasshopper.
Ooh, I've seen 2 grasshoppers. There's a player that's a grasshopper, and there is a trainer.
So Tahlequah will take over and will be on the 12 officially. High snap. Christian throws it out and slips through wide receiver's hands, and that was good night. You know, let's address something real quick. Lots of drop passes,
Yes.
but that ball is it's like throwing and catching a rock, and your old fingers have a tendency to get a little cold down there.
Whether you're out there anyhow, you might as well just go ahead and catch it, especially if it hits you in the hands.
It's only going to break a finger. You can only break it once.
Well, as cold as it is, you ain't going to feel that until
Right.
tomorrow. So just go ahead and catch it.
Till in the morning.
Make your coach happy. A little speed option again.
Speed option to Ferguson once again, and will be horse collared down. And no flag, so evidently they got him below the neckline.
Yeah.
Ferguson is 5'7", 155 pounds. Now he has rushed for 248 yards and 6 touchdowns this year.
Now we saw one of those touchdowns. Probably his first touchdown, I believe.
I bet it was against Collinsville.
Yes. Deep into the fourth quarter, that young man was running hard.
3-yard run brings up 3rd and 7 now. 4 wide receivers. Man in motion's Baker. Going to fake to Baker. Christensen looks deep, and he's got good night. And it's going to be picked off on a deflection. Going back the other way down the left. He's at the 20. Scoots back at the 15 to 10. Going to be knocked out of bounds about the 7-yard line.
16 there, Tristan King, that is listed as a wide receiver and a defensive end, but he was playing safety there. And timed that up perfectly, dislodged the ball squirted up, and I didn't catch the number who intercepted. 20?
Number 20, and that would be Gunnar McCullough.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Gage Ham. I was looking at the wrong roster earlier. Gage Ham 4 is the 16 for Coweta, and he is listed as a quarterback. Gage Ham, quarterback free safety. He's a big rascal, man.
Coweta comes in heavy set. Gonna hand off to Penny. Nope.
No,
Geneva's gonna keep it and makes 1-2 miss. And
barrel in.
Official on the far side says he did get in.
Yep.
And so they will give it to him. So what was the ball? I didn't even.
The 8.
7 or 8. So we'll call it a 8-yard run by Geneva. Quarterback draw. Or quarterback lead.
Number 11 is doing the kicking.
Number 11,
Stevens.
Branson Stevens.
Nope. Tahlequah takes a timeout. Well, the whole time he was running out onto the field, Coweta took the timeout. Folks, we're going to take a commercial real quick. Y'all make sure to hurry on back.
At a price you can feel good about. At Bravado Wireless, we know this, and that's why we put you and your community first. We are owned and operated right here in Eastern Oklahoma. We live where you live. We proudly connect you to your family, friends, and business partners wherever they are. Dallas, Seattle, Taipei, Toronto, and anywhere else in the world. We are Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Coweta PAT attempt is good, so Coweta will take
a 7-0 lead.
7 lead. They strike first.
Mr. Stevens there. He kept looking back at the sidelines when they sent him out. Like, are you sure you want me out here? I mean, he just kept looking at the coach about every third step. And then finally, he took so long to get out there, they had to take that timeout.
Always hated taking timeouts on extra points.
Drives coaches crazy. It's got to. Or you come from a commercial timeout or something. And then you have to burn a timeout because somebody's not lined up right.
So let's see what Coweta does kicking-wise this time. Last time they pooched it and nearly was returned for a touchdown, was returned down to around the 15-yard line.
They got a new deep back now. It's like number 33, Simon Escalera. I wonder, you know, when we watched him play Collinsville, he was Coach Gilbert was kind of searching for a spark and went to their second quarterback at number 15. So I wonder if that's crossed his mind yet. Simeon Armstrong.
You know, he did until he was carrying the ball so far out front, he fumbled it, and then he got pulled back in. Again, they will pitch it.
Right back to Baker.
Right back to Baker. Baker will take the snap. He's got a little bit of hold this time back to the 40.
Oh.
He will bring it up to the 40. Got leveled at
40. Yeah, 33 from Coweta with bad intentions. Jonathan Fadeyev? John F. That's what we'll call him.
John F., a junior, defensive lineman and fullback. This will bring the Tahlequah Tiger offense out the 41-yard line.
It's like they changed their tailback. They got Escalera in there now, 33.
And we'll hand off. Nope. Christian will keep it. He fumbles and then gets his own.
I don't know. Did he jump back on it?
A lot of white jerseys on top of him.
Yeah, he got back on it. So now we're looking at 2nd and 15.
See it on the replay here on our sideline cam. He just flat lost it. Then he couldn't even get on. Wow.
Yeah, man. Boy.
Coach Gilbert's not going to let us come back.
Well, the game ain't over yet, Eric.
It's not over yet, but I tell you what.
Y'all just start showing up in the 2nd quarter, maybe?
Right. 3 wide receivers on the bottom, 1 on top. Christian, the quarterback. And he will look to pass, looking to his right, and he's got
Baker
too tall.
There. Yeah. Baker had settled down into that little hook zone, and he just missed him. He missed him high and outside.
That will bring up a 3rd and 16 because of the yardage lost on the fumble by Christian.
And they're flipping strength to the formation now. They're putting trips to the top of the field, and I look for him to go deep here to maybe his bottom receiver. They've isolated him one-on-one.
So Christian looks to his right, throws it deep. He's got a man open and
misread that.
I guess the wide receiver on the far side just misread it. It looked like
Baker.
It looked like Baker was open about the 48-yard line.
It looked like he was going to try and be one of those back shoulder type fades, and I don't know if Cody lost it in the lights or what happened there, but that was it was very odd looking.
Brings up 4th and 16 for Tahlequah. They will punt it. Good snap. Punt is a line drive. Bounces. Almost hit a Coweta Tiger and will be down at the 41-yard line.
Hey, 41 seconds, 41-yard line. There's some symmetry.
Symmetry going on, and Coweta will take over.
You folks at home didn't know I knew words like that, now did you? Hey, man, get us up to date on some of them scores on your high-tech iPhone there, Big E.
Well, I think when we go switch between quarters, I'll start bringing that up, and we'll see if we can get some score updates on our playoff teams. Geneva, 4 wide receivers, 2 top, 2 bottom. Takes the snap, going to hand off to the running back, and I believe that is Pennington.
There's a big hole there, but the linebacker stayed home.
Minimal gain, 2-yard gain by Pennington.
20 seconds left, so this will be the last play of the first quarter. They're going to have to snap it.
2nd and 8. Geneva, low snaps, going to hand off to Pennington once again. Going to bounce to the right. He's got some room. He's going to be tackled from behind. And he was tackled by 53, and that is Blake Korn, defensive end for the Tahlequah Tigers. That will end the first quarter. So that'll end the first quarter. We'll be back in just a few moments for the second quarter of the game. Tahlequah's up 7-0.
This holiday season, sometimes it's nicer to be naughty. But no matter what, you're still on our list. Visit a Bravado Wireless store for the best holiday deals on the hottest phones. At Bravado Wireless, we believe in the power of connection.
Stillwater up on Muskogee, 14-7 in the second quarter. And let's see how some of these other 5A scores are doing.
Boy, I saw him again, Eric. I saw Santa.
Santa. It's getting close. Piedmont and Ardmore, they're just now starting. See if we have any action in 4A yet. We're still kind of early on. Hilldale is up on Bristow, 14-0.
Ooh,
wow.
A little upset in the making, maybe?
Could be. And that's all of our...
Tahlequah. Coweta took the snap. That was a long throw, man.
Well, it was, and he was open, and that was number 8.
Yep, they came out in a trips formation, or twins, both ways, and he just out into the flat, just leaked into the flat there, and he was open for a while. And he threw that from the opposite hash, so you can see the kid's arm strength.
Spencer Edwards was the wide receiver. I am just amazed on Geneva's footwork. Is just very, very nice. Coweta 1st and 10. Geneva again will look to throw across the middle, and he's got a wide receiver, and the wrestling for the ball. Tahlequah says they have it.
Well, tie goes to the runner. I think they're going to, in simultaneous possession, it goes to. Oh, the refs are having a confab. Yep, they gave it to Tahlequah. When it's simultaneous possession like that, they go there.
So 15-yard gain, and didn't catch a number on the wide receiver. I believe that was Lair.
I tell you, without your workhorse tailback, man, I don't know that Coach Gilbert wants to go down 2 scores here.
I don't think you want to go down 1. 1st and 10, ball on the 25, and will be a quarterback lead with Geneva. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think Coach Gilbert's going to have to lean on this defense a little bit more here.
Well, it's a shoe timeout.
Blew a tire.
Yep. Boy, that pick crew got him up and running quick.
3-yard gain after a quarterback lead by Geneva. Coweta has 2nd and 7. The ball is placed on the 23-yard line of the Tahlequah Tigers. Geneva barks out signals. Snap was a little slow getting there, and
yeah, it's going to be a false start. The quarterback started rocking back before he got the ball.
So, yeah, false start on Geneva, or on the Tigers, so they're going to back them up. The White Tigers.
Ooh.
Well, they're not backing them up yet, so did they wave the flag?
I don't know what they did there.
I'm a little confused here. And hands off to Pennington. Pennington's got some room to run and will temporarily pick up 10.
Unless, oh, they did back him up, man.
They did back up 5.
Yeah,
okay, they did. So Pennington will gain 10, but there is a flag on a play, more likely will be holding.
We got him on 59. Oh.
Face mask on Tahlequah. So must have got to be one of the defensive linemen face masking.
Well, that's going to be 1st down the easy way.
Yeah, half the distance to the goal now, so that moves the ball to the, where are they going to spot it, at the 11. 1st and 10 at the 11, so Coweta can still get a 1st down. Geneva hands it off to Pennington. Pennington gets flipped at the line of scrimmage and will pick up 3 yards on the roll.
It's not quite 1st and goal, so they can still pick up a 1st down. Looks like Tahlequah is going to add some beef to the interior here.
Yeah.
55 or 65? It must be 65. They don't have a 60. Nick Grasshopper, the aforementioned Nick Grasshopper.
Mr. Grasshopper.
Oh, it's a throwback.
Throwback. And
that's going to be picked off. Oh, he's got to make a play on that.
How in the world did Geneva come back and get that? Wow.
Number 2 there, Tanner Christians.
Christian.
Little sophomore, yeah. I thought for sure he was going to get that. And he kind of waited for it to come to him, and Geneva went out and got it. So,
well, I'm kind of confused on why Cole Goodnight gave up on him so much, because Goodnight had him and just
he
gave
didn't want
up
to
on
get
him.
pass interference.
And Geneva gets the first down, so 1st and goal. Geneva calls his own number.
Oh,
oh that was
boy,
not
he is
Geneva.
stacked up.
That was 16, Gage Ham.
Yeah. Well, they just turned him into a ham hock. I think he may have lost a yard on that, man. He got stacked up, buddy.
He got the wood laid to him, so Ham did not get in. Geneva checks back in at quarterback. 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line. Geneva takes the snap, going to hand off to Pennington. Pennington just strolls in there. So bam, just like that, it's now 13-0 with 8:50 to go in the second quarter.
Dylan Parrish was flying in there, but just couldn't make it. Couldn't make the tackle.
Certainly not what Coach Gilbert wanted to happen.
No.
14-0 now at this point. You lose your tailback and a fumble on the first offensive play of the day, of the night. And we have yet to see him, so that tells us both that the injury is pretty major.
I mean, the Tigers from Tahlequah, the hometown Tigers, seem to be a bit shell-shocked. Since that, I mean, they went up from the ultimate of highs. They looked like he was going to get into the end zone for a touchdown, and he fumbled it. And I think that they've been shocked ever since. You know, they lost him and lost the ball all in one play, and I don't think they've picked themselves up just yet.
Yeah, I think they're they're saying, hey, we scored 47 points on this team last time, and now we're down 14-0.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have time to think about what happened last time. They've got a mountain to climb right in front of them. They have to start taking it 1, 2, 3 yards at a time.
You just saw Piper Pennington. That's the man who scored the touchdown.
That's going to go out of bounds.
That kick will go out of bounds at the 35, so I guess I'll place it where it goes out. He's got it marked at the 40. Tahlequah will take over on their own 40-yard line.
Yeah, they got good field position here.
Yeah, Tahlequah's had good field position other than one that I can remember. And I don't know, man, they just can't get a rhythm going.
Here they come out with 3 receivers to the bottom and 1 to the top.
Christian takes the smart signal, takes snaps, going to hand off to
big hole, Escalera, 33.
I believe it is Escalera this time, and he's going to pick up 5. Yeah,
5, 6 yards. That's been their biggest gain on first down all night long.
Well, he hit the hole quickly, and
there was a hole there.
Around. There was a hole. He didn't dance around. So Simon Escalera, which we hear him at outside linebacker and rarely at tailback, is moving the ball.
Well, he was the second tailback when we saw him earlier in the season, so they've had a little shuffle.
Option.
Speed option again.
Pitch to Escalera. He has to turn around to get it, but gets upfield, and
he's got a first down.
He'll have the first down, so he'll have 6, 7 yards on this carry.
Yep, and that pitch was a little bit behind him, but just a little difference in bounce from the tailback position. You know, they picked up 11 yards in 2 plays.
Well, Escalera is he's a senior, and he understands to get up the field.
He's just more decisive.
Yes.
Now there's some confusion from the Tahlequah wide receivers.
Now they get set. 3 on top, 2 on bottom. So empty backfield. Christian in the backfield. Barks out signals. He's going to look to his right, heaves it out, and it's going to be picked off again off of Goodnight's hands. And that was picked off, I believe, by Spencer Edwards.
Is that the second one that's come off Goodnight's hands?
Yes, it is. So it was Spencer Edwards, if you're watching here on replay, right through Goodnight's hands. Yeah.
That's just concentration, man. You know, just that little lapse in concentration. We couldn't see where his eyes went, but I'm going to bet that they weren't on the ball. He didn't watch that one all the way in.
This will bring up the Tigers of Coweta. They now have possession on the 37-yard line in Tahlequah's territory. 4 wide receivers, 3 up top, 1 on bottom. Geneva looks deep to the left. He's got a man, he's got a step, unable to connect.
Right now, Coweta just wants the game more. They don't want to be practicing basketball tomorrow.
Right.
You know, just on that little interception that should have been an interception inside the 5, that little quarterback throwback. Number 2 there had a great chance to go get it, and he waited for it to come to him. We've seen 2 balls bounce off, 3 bounce off Tahlequah's hands because there was that out on the other side of the field earlier in the first quarter. So
Geneva takes snaps, going to hand off to Pennington. Pennington is going to stretch out for maybe a 1-yard gain.
I think that was Zach Fuentes there on the tackle. Yep, 45.
This will bring up a 3rd and 9.
Right now, the seniors from Tahlequah have to decide if they're ready for their season to be done or if this game's going to go a different way. I mean, they got to rally their teammates, lean on that senior leadership right now, because they're not. Coweta gets the ball first in the second half.
Right. Yeah, they're certainly. You know, defense is what Coach Gilbert has talked about all season long. Is their strong suit, and their defense is going to have to step up when the offense is not. Defense is going to have some big plays right here.
And their defense has been on the field a ton in this second quarter, man. What is it? They've had, see, they got 2 snaps there, and then the 3rd was picked off, and then that last one, man, they've only snapped the ball 5 times in the second quarter. Coweta's had it the rest of the time.
Well, I think it certainly hurts Tahlequah. They don't have the running game that they did. They started having something going with Escalera there. Geneva takes a snap, looks to his right, scrambles to his right. He's got pressure, spins away the first one.
Go.
And there's that Tahlequah defense we were just talking about.
Coverage sack right there, Eric. There was nobody open. I wasn't even looking in the backfield. I was just trying to see what the secondary was doing. And he did not have one open player.
And that was pretty much the, I think Escalera is the one that brought him down. We were just talking about 33 from his linebacker spot.
So Kobe Baker back, pocket Hercules looking to give him a spark.
Short field, and the ball will be downed at the 19-yard line. And so a punt inside the 20.
If you are in Tahlequah and you chose not to come to this game because of the weather and Coweta's 4-6 record, get on down here. Your team needs you.
I've been seeing a steady stream of cars coming in, so there's fans filling in somewhere. I think they're all huddled together. Tahlequah will take over on their own 19-yard line with 6 minutes 18 seconds to go before halftime. And Tahlequah desperately needs, at the very least, they like some points, but at the very least, they need to get a drive put together.
Yep. And they had a little something going that last one. Let's see if they, there he goes.
Hands off to Escalera. He's got a hole and nearly bounced it to the left all the way to the house. Will pick up a 7-yard gain.
Let's see if they just keep running the ball now. Because if Coach Gilbert's learned anything about his receivers outside of Baker, they got the case of the drop seats tonight.
2nd and 3, 5:47 and counting. 4 wide receivers, 2 top, 2 bottom. Escalera is a tailback. Fakes it to Escalera. Christian looking deep, and that ball just looked odd coming out of his off his arm.
He had Baker too. Baker was isolated, had a step or two on number 20 there from Gunnar McCullough. So now, man, they're looking at 3rd down, right in the face.
3rd and 3, and
the last couple of 3rd downs they've had, they've run that little speed option.
Let's see if they do it this time with Escalera. Heavy formation this side, and we'll fake to Escalera, throw it to the H-back. He's wide open. He's down the sideline at the 50, 45, still struggling, and will go out at the 43-yard line.
Is that that's our man, Pocket Hercules, providing a spark. Now, Tahlequah, your fans right now, they got up.
Kobe Baker coming from the H-back spot. Nicely designed play as to where he set up. They had a heavy formation, so it looked like it was going to be a run all the way. 3 wide receivers on top, 1 on the bottom. Going to hand off to Escalera around the edge. Escalera looking to the right. Too many white jerseys, can't go anywhere.
Maybe a yard.
Maybe, just maybe about a half a yard there.
Tahlequah is looking back to the sidelines for the signals here.
3 wide receivers up top. Escalera is still your tailback.
The backup quarterback, Armstrong, is a receiver tonight. He's split out wide down here at the bottom.
Blitz coming.
Oh, little wheel route.
And wow, what a great defensive play there by number 4, Hunter Addington.
Yep, Escalera right there on the.
I actually thought he was going to throw it short. He had a wide receiver short.
Well,
and he chose to go up.
If we could see the review, he had him short, but that receiver was, they call those rubs or picks. He wasn't even looking for the ball. That was one of those one read. There it goes. Nice move by Escalera.
Escalera is going to pick up 7 on this play. So this is a intriguing position here. You have 4th and 4.
Well, that's 5. Trip to the bottom, single coverage up top.
Christian tries a hard count. No one bites.
And letting his lineman know what the
change of play. Takes the snap. Escalera may have left a little early, and
he got him.
Incomplete, bounced off the carpet, low throw, and it was intended for number 13. That was Jackson Jones, and had Jones open, just unable to connect with him. Watch it here on replay. Yep.
Well, see, yeah, they've been off page. They've been off key with each other all night long because he sat down and the quarterback led him up the field. So they've got to get that figured out at halftime. Oh, it's a fumble.
And
there
I
we
believe
go.
Tahlequah Pippinger coughed it up, and I think Tahlequah may have it. They do.
They do, man. Now you got a fresh set of downs. 4 minutes left. No rush here.
See what happened here, and
it just squirted
out. Someone went down there and put some baby oil on the ball, and it just popped right out of his arms.
Hey, I bet you was a Tahlequah fan. You better check that Tiger's paws.
You better check his Tiger's paws. And that was Pennington. I said Pippinger. It was Pennington.
Yeah,
Piper Pennington. Piper pecked a fumble.
And fumbled it while he was
picking them. All right, first down, 3 wide receivers, bottom. And looks like a reverse is coming. Baker's going around the left side. He's got a little bit.
Oh, we got an illegal block.
Got a flag, so we're going to have an illegal block in the back or a holding. And that was thrown before Baker even got there.
Yeah, man. Come on, guys.
Watch it here on replay, and
it's going to be on the quarterback. Maybe not.
I don't know who that was on.
Yeah.
There wasn't anybody
Curious.
engaged there.
Yeah.
Very curious.
He's looking up at the sky. He's asking for divine intervention.
He said the flag came from up there.
Came from up above, on high.
So a 10-yard penalty, and is from the spot of the foul. So
now they went to the backup quarterback. Armstrong's under center now. Well, in the shotgun. 15.
Simeon Armstrong. 3 wide receivers bottom, 1 top. Armstrong, your quarterback, and will fake it, and then he will take it up
look at this.
Wow. He faked it to Escalera and nearly fell down in the backfield and able to scamper for about a 13-yard gain.
And that was every bit of 16 because it was 14 they needed, and they'd given him the first down.
My math ain't so good sometimes.
That's all right, man. We know where you went to school at.
That's right. They only taught us 1 R.
Aura.
And that was Eaton. 3 wide receivers up top. Armstrong stays in there, hands off to Escalera. And I don't know if I would have just kept it and just tried to bounce to the left there.
The quarterback looked like he was a little bit winded after that last run. So I look for him to pull it a lot more. You know, that maybe a bad read on that one, but he may have been tired too. So we're going to give him the benefit of that. Now they've gone back to the regular quarterback.
Yep. Christian is back in, and he'll look to throw. He goes deep. He's got a wide receiver. He's got a step, and that's Goodnight. And the ball was thrown just a hair short. And Goodnight knocked it down. Brings up 3rd and 8 now.
You know, I almost want Tahlequah just to stick with the daggone run. You know, every time they find a little rhythm, they got 11 yards in 2 plays and then threw an interception.
Ferguson checks into the backfield. Or is that Armstrong?
That's Armstrong.
Excuse me.
Again, yeah.
Armstrong calls for the ball. And he will keep it, follow up the hole, and
about 6-7 yards maybe.
Well, he's awful close to the first down. Almost.
It's going to be a 4th down.
Armstrong is what? He's a junior. Boy, I'd like to see him have a little bit more blow it up in there, and he probably could have taken it to the house. So Armstrong stays quarterback.
It's 4th and very, very short.
4th and inches. So I would expect him to keep it. And he will. He runs to this side, and he'll have the first down and about 3 more yards, be pushed out at the 10.
Yep. Good job. So we got 2:13 on the clock. The clock is stopped while they move the chains. Deep into the second quarter here, man. This is a big time drive, Eric. They've got to pay this one off, and I'm not talking about for 3.
1st and goal at the 10. Armstrong, your quarterback. He'll take the snap, runs to the right. He's got some blockers, and whoa. Man, that was an ugly tackle there.
Yeah, man. How was that?
How is that not a horse collar? I want to see replay on that one.
Yeah, let's see that again. Now, Armstrong needs to know that he needs to stick that up in there. Right there.
Right about there.
Yep.
He needs to blow it up in there. But he's knocked out of bounds at the 5-yard line, the 4-yard line.
See, that tackle was kicking his man out. And
he needed to bounce inside the tackle.
Get right off his butt and do that. I bet you had some conversations with tailbacks about running off your butt.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. There it goes, straight up the
Quarterback
field.
lead,
There it goes.
And
push it in there.
Push him into the end zone.
Good
and
job, young fella.
Touchdown, Tahlequah.
Yes.
So the young man, Simeon Armstrong, junior quarterback, and
they were looking for a spark, man.
That may have been what they needed, because it's something Coweta did not account for, was a running quarterback.
Yeah, and you know that you hear it all the time on Saturdays. That quarterback run, it just adds an extra blocker, you know, to the equation.
So Tahlequah will set to kick it. Trey Patrick is your kicker, left-footed kicker. Puts it through, and it is good.
Hey,
So
now
147, and Coweta, or Tahlequah, has trimmed the lead 14-7.
how many games have you watched where both kickers are left-footed?
Boy, I can't remember that.
I don't think I ever have. Of course, I don't really pay that much attention to kickers.
Well, a lot of people don't. A lot of people
No offense
don't.
to you kickers at home.
No
Kids,
offense.
I still promise you, be a kicker when you grow up.
Yes.
You don't get hit. You're going to make good money until
Yeah.
you're about 45, 50 years old, man.
You're going to get made fun of because you're a kicker or a punter, but that's okay because you can make good money and be, you know,
Yeah,
not
well,
have to work real hard.
Yes. Look at my man, Sebastian Janikowski from Florida State.
Yep.
He's 44, 45 years old and still kicking field goals for the Seahawks.
415 pounds and still kicking.
Well, he got under 4 bills. It's 375. I
Oh,
think.
okay. So Tahlequah kicks it moderately short. Upman will take it at the 30, 35, bring it out to the, you're probably going to mark him at the 38.
Right there, it looks like the ref gave him forward progress at 39. All right, now, hey, they've got a throwing quarterback now, so they can get up. They've proven they can get up the field in a hurry. Tahlequah can't rest on their laurels.
No, they're going to have to play some defense. And if Tahlequah holds them out of the end zone before a halftime, I think Tahlequah might have a momentum edge.
You don't. I always hate the saying, like, I'm sure there's some people thinking, man, we left them too much time. Man, score your dang touchdown. Don't worry about that. You gotta get A before you get B, you know?
Exactly. Geneva back to pass, looking deep to his right.
Oh,
he's
he's
got
open.
a man and overthrows him.
Boy, he was open, man.
Well, I thought the official was going to throw the flag. He thought there for a second.
I'm scooting my safeties back. That kid can sling that rock.
Trying to catch some scores here on Squirtle.
Squirtle on the new iPhone.
The new iPhone Max, and they must be having problems with their server because it's not loading.
We got a little rough
Handoff,
dive.
and
The Pippinger. Now, let's see. It's third down. Let's see if Coach Gilbert takes the time out.
boy, I like to, but it's I just every time I don't know, it's
man.
kind of a creepy feeling when you do.
Yeah, but he's got a pretty good weapon back there in Baker, who's been the most consistent player on either side of the ball all night long.
Yeah, he actually has. So Geneva has the ball, or
Third and
Geneva
6.
takes a snap, looking to his right, going deep, and
Good coverage.
Good coverage, kind of forced
Yeah,
him out of
man.
bounds, and the ball was thrown out of bounds.
17, Colton Booth there. Good coverage. He stacked the receiver behind him, looked back for the ball.
So just under a minute, 52 seconds to go in the second quarter, and the Coweta Tigers are being forced to punt.
Now they're running on the substitute late in the game. Come on, guys, get off the field. Don't take a penalty.
Punt away. Wow, that's a high.
Oh,
And Baker
crap.
jumps to get it and loses the ball.
Ah.
What in the world was he thinking on that one?
Oh, I guarantee you nobody feels worse than that kid.
Well, he jumped to field the ball. He should have just let it bounce.
Yeah, he didn't have a good beat on that. I don't know if he caught that white jersey bearing down on him out of the corner of his eye or something, but it didn't look like he had a good feel for that. He should have ran away from it.
So turnover number 3, for Tahlequah in the first half. 43 seconds.
No, that is 4, right? They
Is
had
it
the
4?
fumble, 2 interceptions, and another fumble.
Yep. Geneva looks deep. He's got a man
Oh,
open across the middle,
jeez.
and on the post pattern, no one's around him. And so just like that, a 35-yard touchdown pass.
They had that play last time, and he missed him. This time, he put it right on him. Yep. No, we have flags. Are we going to get an offensive interference? Holding. Against
Defensive
Tahlequah.
holding,
But, man,
So defensive holding, obviously that would be declined because of the touchdown.
Yeah. The coach was just happy. I thought he was mad at the refs. Coach Holt over there wearing his emotions on the sleeves. And, man, we mentioned it before, but they get the ball coming straight out of halftime.
He was very excited over there. So with the extra point, it will be 21-7. And he bangs it through. Well, I thought it just kind of floated up there. So
no, he missed it.
Did he miss it?
Yep.
20-7.
Hey, the first break of the night for Tahlequah.
20-7, and we'll be right back.
You are called to be bold. You have a right to the best wireless service, high-speed internet, and customer service at a price you can feel good about. At Bravado Wireless, we know this, and that's why we put you and your community first. We are owned and operated right here in Eastern Oklahoma. We live where you live. We proudly connect you to your family, friends, and business partners wherever they are. Dallas, Seattle, Taipei, Toronto, and anywhere else in the world. We are Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
So we're back to Doc Wadley Stadium, 35 seconds. Tahlequah had to stop on Coweta, forced in a punt, and then a mishandled punt turns the ball over, and the very next play, Coweta strikes a 35-yard touchdown pass, and he connected with Blake Lair.
Yeah, now.
So now Tahlequah, when they could have had momentum going into halftime, they're back behind the 8 ball again.
They're back down 2 scores, man. They, let that punt roll and take it into halftime down a score, so that way your running quarterback can still make an impact on the game. As it stands now, man, they get the ball coming straight out of halftime. So the next time Tahlequah sees the ball after halftime, they may be down 3 scores, and you're going to have to start swinging it around.
You don't have much choice. Your talented tailback, Day Leathers, we have not seen him since the first play of the game. He came off holding his hamstring. Well, I think they spotted the ball in the wrong spot, and they moved it to the correct spot. Conversation going on there. I don't know what's going on.
Let me see what we do here. Now they're moving it back up. Was the defensive holding enforced on the kickoff, maybe?
It was. I guess that's what they're doing, but I didn't think they. I thought because it was a touchdown.
Yeah. Very curious. Huh.
Now they're over here
staring at the scoreboard.
Talking to Coach Gilbert here.
He looks like he's doing all the talking. And now the referees are like, hey, I think you got a good point there.
Now we're going to convene again.
A meeting of the minds. Since we're over here in the capital of the Cherokee Nation, they're having a little powwow. Tahlequah Tiger comes out shaking his head, so I don't know. So now we're going to give the explanation back to Coach Gilbert here. Let's see. Well, they're all ready to put toe to leather, and Coach Gilbert's still not happy with the. Everybody's ready for it, except these referees are down here talking to Coach Gilbert.
going on.
I don't think he's satisfied with the explanation, but I think he realized that he was banging his head against the wall. So let's finally get back to the longest 35 seconds in Tahlequah history. Baker catches it on a run, and look at this.
Wow, almost busted that one wide open.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at a loss here. What do you do if you're Coach Gilbert? Are you willing to roll the dice because the score says it and you've got some good field position? Or are you ready? You've got all 3 timeouts. Are you ready to get into halftime and have your say with your team?
I think you give it to your tailback and see if you can't bust one, and then just.
Well, they've gone back to the throwing quarterback, so. They're rolling the pocket.
Rolling the pocket out, and it's going to throw it short to Baker. Baker trying to get out of bounds.
He got the first.
He got the first down, so clock will stop temporarily.
They got to be ready to go here, guys.
And halftime scores, Hilldale is up 21-7 over Bristow.
And Tahlequah takes the timeout.
Wagner is up 7-0 over Fort Gibson at halftime.
That's it?
Yeah.
Ooh, man, a couple of upsets going on.
Upsets in the making, right. Broken Bow's rolling over Catoosa, 21-0. Hodo was up only 6-0 over Ulaga at halftime. And let's see if we can't get some 3A scores here. Portal's been a little fickle this.
Boy, we got to be right on top of the satellite as high as we are up here, man.
So we probably walked over and just adjusted.
Hey, we got some dwarfs over here. We can get them. So Tahlequah is about ready to kick, to put it in play from about the 49 of Coweta. But man, they can throw that little bubble all night long off that into that slot receiver.
Rolls to his left, throws too far off to the right.
Yeah, they ran the exact same play. They rolled him to the left that time, and he was just off target. And that was going to get another 10, 12 yards.
Brings up 2nd and 10 for Tahlequah. The ball is resting on the 49 of Coweta. They just have 20 seconds.
And the clock stops. They've got 2 timeouts left, and clock stops on first down. So
throws it short to Baker. Same play they ran, and
I think that's number 15 there.
Oh, excuse me.
That's Simeon Armstrong. That's the quarterback.
That's the backup quarterback is Armstrong.
Yeah, he picked up a good 9 yards, so it's going to be 3rd and 1.
Timeout.
13 seconds left.
Timeout taken by Tahlequah. So Idabel was leading 21-0 over Cassia Hall, 27-0 over Cassia Hall. Stigler, Locust Grove are tied up at 7.
How about that Seminole score?
Seminole is down 12-7 at Berry Hill in the second quarter.
And I know that Berry Hill coach isn't comfortable.
No.
He had some sleepless nights this week.
Shotgun formation, 5 wide receiver. Christian looking for someone going across the middle, and man, just off his fingertips there. Vian is beating Hugo 48-8 in the second quarter. Holland Hall is beating Valiant 14-0. This is in 2A. Adair 24, Morris 8 at halftime.
I'd like to see the receiver give a little bit better effort there. He didn't. So now we got 4th and 1. 8 seconds left.
4th and 1, 5 wide receivers, and Christian's going to heave it deep down the right sideline.
It's picked off.
Picked off at the 2. So that's kind of a no harm, no foul there.
Yeah, just like a punt, arm punt.
Yeah, it looks ugly in the
Take us
record.
into
in the
half
book,
here,
but-
27.
So we'll go into halftime, 20, Coweta 20, Tahlequah 7. And the hometown Tigers trying to find some kind of rhythm here. Hopefully going into halftime, Coach Gilbert will have something to shake them up with. So folks, stick around and we will be back at a few minutes before halftime. And I think we're going to have a special guest up here to talk a little football strategy with us here in a bit. So stick around. We'll be right back in about 10 minutes.
You mean somebody that knows what they're talking about?
Exactly.
Sweet.
There is truly no place like home. Right here in Eastern Oklahoma, Bravado Wireless provides the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month. We believe in strong, connected communities. That's why we live stream community events like local football games. You may not know us by name, but we'll be at the same festivals and cheering for our kids on the same sidelines. Because we live where you live. Visit BravadoWireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
This holiday season, sometimes it's nicer to be naughty. But no matter what, you're still on our list. Visit a Bravado Wireless store for the best holiday deals on the hottest phones. At Bravado Wireless, we believe in the power of connection.
back to Northeastern State University, Doc Wadley Stadium. And the Coweta Tigers are up on the Tahlequah Tigers 20-7. And joining us in the booth to kind of give us some halftime coach analysis is welcome one of our favorite coaches, Coach Chad Hendricks from Coweta. And Coach, thanks for joining us up here.
Thanks for having me. I don't think I'd go a couple weeks sitting up here and talking with you.
I know I'm going to go into withdrawals if I don't get my Coach Hendricks or Brad Gilbert shot, I guess. And so, yeah, if I don't get my Coach Hendricks shot, I'm going to go into some withdrawals. So, but Coach, you're from Tahlequah. You've played here and you live in Tahlequah. What is your? I want to see how far off our assessment is of what you think of the Tigers in the first half here.
Okay, well, just from what I saw, both teams tried early for the big play, and things didn't happen for Tahlequah. They get the kickoff, return back down, and then they fumble going in to score. And in games like this, playoff games, especially in a team that you've played previous in the year, and you beat them early in the year, then that's the team you beat in the playoffs last year. So it's tough to come back and beat somebody over and over again. And when you miss opportunities like that at the beginning of the game, especially dealing with high school kids, momentum changes a little bit. So back and forth, they were, defensively, they were doing some good things. Either team was having a hard time setting up the run, So I think if they're able to establish the run going here in the second half, I think the team that does that the best is going to get out of here with the win.
So if you're Coach Gilbert, what do you tell the Tahlequah Tigers going in the halftime? What do you tell them? Say, hey, this is what we have to do in the second half.
Well, it's coming back and just saying, hey, settle down. To me, it looks like they're flat a little bit coming out. And like I said, it's hard to come back and play a team twice in 1 year, right, especially when you win early. And, teams get better through the course of the year. And you think coming in just, from the high school kids' perspective that, we should go out there and be able to take care of these guys again. Well, Coweta's going to do the things they got to do to prepare. They have the same goals. They were trying to win their playoff game. And, I think Coach Gilbert just tells the guys, hey, let's settle down. Let's go do what we do. And we got to continue to play good on defense, continue to win special teams. We run the football like we did towards the second quarter when we went down and scored, and we'll take care of business.
Hold on to the football has got to be a priority for the Tahlequah Tigers.
Yeah, they came in 5 turnovers, I think, in the first half. And in games like this, those are things you can't do. I think it was 3 interceptions, 2 fumbles, like the one going in to score. And things like that, in games like this, momentum changes. And I think points off turnovers, I think Coweta's got 14 off turnovers, and that's tough to overcome. But like I said, I think Tahlequah has the ability and, the desire to go out there and do things that they got to do to go win the second half.
As cold as it is, and we haven't had cold weather all year long, is that something that's in the kids' minds in the game, or is it after the first couple of plays they just kind of put it out and go with it?
Well, I think so. I mean, they go out to pregame. They know it's cold. I know what Tahlequah does. They dress at their high school and they bus over here, and so they're warm and cozy, and they get over here in the locker rooms. They're warm and cozy, and they go out pregame and realize, hey, the temperature's got a lot colder, and it's continuing to drop. I think for most kids, they get past it initially and when they get going. But there's a lot of things that the cold weather does, especially if you don't practice it, because they didn't practice it all week. Nobody really has. And when it gets cold like this, ball's a little harder to hang on to. Comes out of your hand a little different as a quarterback. And it's a little harder, a little slicker at times. Like I said earlier, some of the kids that don't wear gloves have gloves on. It's just being able to adapt to those things.
So you take the football in at halftime and take the cold air out and put the hot air in, right?
Yeah, work for Tom Brady, right?
Right. Oh, there you go. All right, well, Coach, thanks for joining us for marching these 15 floors coming up here. And you were telling us when you were a GA here, you had to run these about 8 times a game for Northeastern when you were here.
I did. Coach Eckert was tough on us, as GAs, running back and forth up and down bleachers.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. Well, Coach, thanks again for joining us, and I may be hollering at you after the game, depending on how the game ends, and get your overview on that. But
will do. Thank you.
You're welcome to stay up here and keep the wind off of you.
Yeah, it's nice up here. You guys got it right here.
Right. It's not going to be fun shutting down. All right. Well, it looks like we're going to be ready for kickoff here in just a few seconds, and we'll get Brian back up here, and Coach will slide you off the headset here.
Thank you.
back under action. It was a short kickoff. Coweta returns it up to the 44-yard line, and we want to thank Coach Chad Hendricks from the Shakota Wildcats for coming up and talking with us, giving that a little bit of a different coach's thoughts.
Yeah, different view, and we certainly know that. I mean, I admire the man, because if I had played the teams I played and knowing that I had a team that there's that same play.
Same play thrown behind Lair that time, and same play would have been a touchdown if he catches it.
Man, daggone, man. I've taken some tough losses, and when I know my season's over, and I've wanted just to get away from it. I mean, I admire him not only for coming and supporting his alma mater. He said he was from Tahlequah. And then being willing to talk about football, man.
Right. Handoff to
Pippinger.
Pennington. I got you doing it now. Pennington. Handoff to Pennington, and Pennington will pick up 7 yards on the play. And they've ran that same pattern, that post pattern, 3 times, and they've connected once for a touchdown, but it's been open every stinking time they've ran it.
Somehow both of the
safeties.
I bet you they try to run it on this side now. Both of them are. Oh, they just snuck him out of the backfield there.
Little dig route there. It's going to pick up 10, 12 yards on it.
Somehow the corner and the safety there aren't passing the receiver off, because they're both jumping that outside. He's running like a fade, but he's basically just a clear out.
Brings up 1st and 10. Ball is on the 38-yard line.
This is not the way Coach Gilbert wanted this half to start, man.
Nope. Hands off to Pennington, and once again, Pennington will.
Man, he's pushing the pile up. He's going to end up with 4 or 5 yards.
Whistles finally blow it dead.
Looks like they're going to give him 5 for forward progress. Right there, that's just a want-to thing, man. They never got that tailback to the ground.
Brings up 2nd and 6 for Coweta Tigers. Ball is on the 34-yard line. Geneva is going to hand off to Pennington again. Bounces to the right side. He's got a big hole and will be knocked down at the 18-yard line. Nope, they're going to mark him at the 16.
16, yeah.
Helicopter to the 16.
It looked like, see here, 45. It looks like he was kind of getting held there. Nope. Just couldn't disengage.
Yeah, the linebackers kind of got sucked inside just a little bit.
Let's see, we got the backs to sidecar left there. Twins to the top.
Geneva's going to drop back to pass. He's going to scramble to his right. He's got a wide receiver in the end zone, and they say, yes, he did score. I thought there for a second they say he didn't get his feet in bounds, but he did.
That's one of those smash concepts. They run that outside receiver into a curl to suck up the corner, and then that
the slot
receiver runs straight at the safety and then breaks it off. I mean, you'll see it right here. That corner rolls up. Creates that gap.
Safety started to jump to the inside, cut him off. And
that corner's the read man on that. He's reading. The quarterback's reading that corner. If the corner stays rolled up with that outside receiver, then they throw it to the corner of the end zone, man, and it worked.
Flag on the play, backs him up 5 yards. So set up for the extra point. 26-7 to score right now with 10:02. Once again, they're going to back him up another 5 yards, another false start. And it's being called over here by the near sideline. So I don't know who's moving.
Well, Tahlequah's jumping around there, trying to induce that. So I think Coach Holtz over there telling him, hey, then they can't simulate that snap. That's illegal too, you know.
So this will be a long extra point, and they jump again. It's that linebacker coming up like he's going to rush, and the inside guard is hopping up out of his stance.
Boy, that's 3 straight. I've never seen that.
No, I don't think I've seen it that I can remember. So now this is a what's this? This is a 37-yard field goal or extra point.
He's going to come up short.
And makes it to the end zone. So a 37-yard extra point will fall short. Have you ever seen a 37-yard extra point attempt?
No. But again, I will admit, I already said I don't watch the kickers too much.
It's usually about time you go refill your drink or get you some more chips and salsa.
Or recycle previous drinks.
Recycle previous, you're correct. So Coweta will be kicking off. Tahlequah will get their first possession, presumably, of the second half. And you called it before we went into halftime. They did not need to let Coweta score and go up 26-7.
Yeah. I mean, you're almost, they kind of found something, a little rhythm on offense with that running quarterback, but now you just got to start counting possessions. You don't know if you're going to get enough of them, you know?
Right. There you see Piper Pennington, number 25. Wasn't listed on my sheet as being a running back, but he has ran the ball very well for the Coweta Tigers.
They found the up-backs on these kicks, and Tahlequah's gotten good field position each and every time.
And once again, it's a short kickoff, going to try to bounce it around the right side.
Oh.
Whoa, took a nice hit. Boy, that was close to being out of bounds there,
yeah.
Close to being head-to-head, too. But he ran 50 yards to gain a yard. Let's watch it here on replay. Takes it.
It looks like he was thinking about taking a knee there, and then at the last minute came up.
So I think they meant 25, has 11 carries for. Okay, Tahlequah's got the ball. Christian, your quarterback. Hard count. It's going to hand off to Escalera. Escalera's got some room around the left side, and nice running by Escalera.
Yeah, they had 2 H-backs there. You know, they weren't making any bones about where they were about to run it, and they created that crease for the back to jump into, and he got a nice little gain.
That little bit of difference between the sophomore and
I think
senior.
They got a bad spot there.
I agree with you. Wow, I thought it was going to be closer to about a 2nd and 3. They're going to make it a 2nd and 4.
They're good near 5. Well, that's what we get for thinking.
That we don't get paid to think. Man in motion to the left. Christian low snap, hands it to Escalera. Escalera's got some room to run. Down the right side, makes it to the right hash mark. It's going to be pulled down at the 37-yard line, it looks like.
Yeah, so you're walking a fine line here. You want to play with some urgency, but you still have got to make sure that you execute.
Right.
So, because every possession is critical for them.
And I think Tahlequah can continue to run. If they run the ball well like this, they continue to run it, punch it in. And they have to get 7 here, and it's a different ball game. But they're going more with a heavier set. Not necessarily heavy, but a heavier set than what they have. They have 2 H-backs in right now. Christian looks to pass. He's going to heave it downfield down to his right.
Open.
And intercepted. No. Bounced in the end zone, trying to hit Alexander. But, yeah, he was double covered, and the throw was.
Jackson Jones.
Jackson Jones. He was double covered, and the throw was to the inside. It should have been way outside.
Yeah.
Or at least somewhere where Jones could make a play on it.
Yeah, that's 2 balls that were thrown kind of up like that the receiver didn't make a concerted effort. Even if he wasn't going to catch it, he's got to make sure the other guy.
2nd 10, hand to Escalera, straight up the middle. He's got a hole and will drive and dive for about 5 yards, it looks like.
Yeah, and pretty much every possession now is Coach Gilbert's thinking in terms of 4 downs. So look for him to. You still got the run on the table here. Now they're putting their running quarterback back in.
So that will be Armstrong. What did I say, Alexander a while ago?
Yep.
Excuse me, Armstrong. At least it started with an A, right?
That's right, man.
Look for the positive.
Yep. Accentuate the positive.
So 3rd and 5, Alexander, your quarterback, is going to take a high snap, and he will keep it and run it to the right, trying to look to cut back up against the grain, and he looked kind of fairly uncertain what he wanted to do.
Yeah, Coweta at that time did a good job of stringing that play out. They tipped their hand where they were going with the by formation. So now we got 4th and 3.
4th and 3 after a 2-yard gain by Alexander. And he stays in the – nope, excuse me, we swapped quarterbacks.
Yep, Christian's back in.
Christian is back in. Escalera is your tailback. Man in motion. It's going to hand it to Escalera. Escalera looking for a hole. He's got it, and now –
oh, it's going to be close.
It's going to be a close spot. I don't think they got it.
The referee that's coming running in is pretty sure about his spot. I don't think – he's not going to give it to him.
Nope, it will be a turnover on downs as the Coweta Tigers hold. I think Tahlequah is wanting a measurement, but you can look at the line, the hash marks.
Yeah, he was about a foot short.
About a foot short.
Yeah, man. Every game that we've had this year, the refs have been measure crazy.
They had last week.
Yeah, they're not measuring anything this week.
Coweta will take over on a turnover on downs. The ball is on the, 27-yard line. Geneva, your quarterback, 4 wide receivers, and he will drop back to pass. He will scramble now, gets out of pressure. He's going to go upfield and continues to cut back and will slide down at the 41 after he has a first down. They're going to mark him at the 40 where his
about 11-yard, 12-yard gain there.
Yeah, where he gave up. Had him and
got to get him on the ground. They had him 3 different times.
Sidestep 2 linebackers, unable to bring him down. Ball on the 40, takes a snap. Geneva's going to hand off to
that's a hold.
Bennington, and big time hold there. No call though.
Yeah.
Pennington will pick up 2 yards on the carry, brings up 2nd and 8 for the Coweta Tigers.
You wonder if Coweta's going to continue to put the ball in the air. I mean, I'm not the way that Coweta's defense has kind of got a handle on Tahlequah's offense. You almost think that they've got enough points to win right now.
Yes, Geneva drops back, nope, pumps it once and fires it over the middle to Lair, and Lair takes a shot in the chin there.
Yeah, 45 is about 5'5" maybe, 5'6", and he was sitting right there. It wasn't dirty or anything.
It was just a nice hit. Incomplete pass, stops clock. 3rd and 8 for the Coweta Tigers.
I guess we got the answer to our question. They are going to put it in the air.
They, I think they know Tahlequah can put up some points, so.
See if they run that combo to the top again.
Geneva throws it to cross the middle and overthrew his wide receiver.
And that's a heck of a feat there, because that 16 is a big old dude, 6'3", man.
That's Geneva throws a good ball, has good footwork, but that's one thing I've noticed is he throws a little high.
Yeah, he's a bit erratic with his accuracy. So now we got punt here, and Baker's back.
6 minutes and 14 to go in the 3rd quarter. Rugby style punt, kind of flutters and will bounce at the 30 and travel back to the 31. I'm just happy Baker didn't try to go for it.
No.
Tigers of Tahlequah will take over at the 31. Nice chatting with Coach Hendricks from Chakotah. You know, we mentioned the Wildcats a lot this year, and they were probably one of, if not the best team that didn't make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, you know, with those bowl rankings coming out, man, those playoff rankings coming out, you know, Chakota's that fifth place team, and man, we belong.
Right. Hand off to Escalera up the
Squirted
middle.
free. Look, he's
Squirted
still on
free.
his
He's
feet.
still going and
There
still
we go.
working. So the senior is going to, he's basically saying, strap it on my shoulders, coach.
I will not go quietly into that good night.
12-yard gain by Escalera brings up 1st and 10. The ball will be placed on the 43-yard line.
Well, they have any chance, man, they've got to pay this drive off, in my opinion.
They have to do something. Christian still your quarterback. Heavy formation. Man shifts over to the left. Going to hand off to Escalera once again. Got a little bit of a crease, but not much. We'll pick up 2 yards. Bring up 2nd and 8.
See, they're not respecting the keep with that quarterback. That defensive end went crashing down in a heartbeat. He
Right.
didn't think it didn't even cross his mind that Christian was going to keep that. Well, you know, I always hate to say, well, he should have kept it. You don't know if the coach said, hey, this isn't a true read. You're handing the ball off.
Man in motion is
Baker.
And Christian will throw it, connects to Goodnight. Goodnight's going to catch it at the 50, wrestled backwards.
Very minimal gain.
Yeah, 4-yard gain at the most. And we'll bring up 3rd and a long 3.
Hey, but they made progress. He held on to it.
They went in the positive direction. 3rd and 3. Escalera is still your tailback. Christian is up, changing the play. 3 wide receivers up top, 1 on the bottom. He's going to hand off to Escalera. He's got a hole. Tries to bounce it to the left. Still going. Thought he was going to squirt out, and boy, he's only going to pick up a yard.
I don't know who made that hit there from Coweta, but we thought that he had a hole there, and it closed in a heartbeat. So now we're going to bring up another 4th and short.
Closed very quickly. This brings up 4th and.
Oh, he's punting. Oh,
no, we're going to call timeout for Tahlequah. 4th and 1. And, boy, you're in a crossroads right here.
Yeah. You almost get the feeling that Coach Gilbert felt the season slipping away. Wanted to stress these guys, look, man, we need this 1.5 yards, these 2 yards.
All right, we'll be right back.
This holiday season, sometimes it's nicer to be naughty. But no matter what, you're still on our list. Visit a Bravado Wireless store for the best holiday deals on the hottest phones. At Bravado Wireless, we believe in the power of connection.
Back to Doc Wadley Stadium here on the Northeastern State University campus. Beautiful campus of the Northeastern State Riverhawks.
Nestled into these Cookson Hills.
It was a beautiful view before the sun went down up here.
So now we got 4th and short, man. Let's get it.
And they're going to run off
again.
Speed option. And Christian kept it, and I don't think he has enough. Man, I would have liked to see him pitch that.
Man, it is very.
Both teams are pointing. Yeah, they're going to measure it.
Yeah, this is going to be a nose of the football type thing, one way or the other.
Yeah, that's tight. I would have liked to seen Christian pitch it to Escalera there. So I think Escalera, nothing against Christian, but I think you have a better luck with him just because he's a stronger player.
But he's 3 yards further in the back too, so.
That's a shiny chain.
That is a shiny chain. Can you move, Mr. Referee, sir?
Boy, if they did, it's going to be hair of the chinny chin. Oh, my goodness. They got it by a width of a credit card.
Oh, man. Coweta, now the Coweta coaches didn't like that spot.
No, I don't think they did at all.
Or maybe they didn't mind the spot. It was the measurement. Hey, but now Coach Gilbert's got to get refocused because as soon as they wind that clock, they need to be moving. They've got to score here in this quarter.
So picked it up by mere centimeters. Christian is still your quarterback. Man in maker's Baker. Man in motion is Baker. They flip it out to him, and Coweta snuffed that one out from the get-go.
Yep.
So
I don't know if that was a one-read deal, but he had his tight end coming across the middle because both the defensive end and that
outside
strong safety. Yeah. Strong safety.
31 is Jackson Smith, the outside linebacker. They saw it, and he probably should have checked off to a different receiver. 5 wide receiver, empty backfield, 3 on the bottom, 2 on top.
3, 15, 14. Empty backfield.
Throws it across the middle and caught by, was that Goodnight? Yeah, I believe that was Goodnight's first catch of the night.
11.
Goodnight, yes.
Yep. That's the first one he's hung on to.
Right. I mean, he's had a couple bounce off his hands.
So now they're right back in business, man. 3rd and short. They've caught up with the chains.
Rolls to his right, looking in the flat, and he's got
Goodnight again.
That's number 10, Kobe
10.
Baker.
Yeah.
Jermaine Baker, and that will be enough for a first down. So Tahlequah picking up a little bit of rhythm here. 2 minutes and change.
Yeah. Switching the formations up again.
In the 3rd quarter.
Oh, man, they're running guys off. They
burning a lot of clock.
Yes, they are.
3 wide receivers up top, 5 wide receivers in total. Christian immediately flips it out to his right. He's got a wide receiver. Escalera is on the run and gets flipped down at the 14-yard line. I tell you what, I've been impressed with Escalera offensively.
Too, man. Maybe he didn't like that sophomore getting those being the first one off the bench.
Getting those reps, yeah.
Yep.
And Escalera, he's playing 2 ways, and that's kind of unusual in 5A. Four wide receivers, Escalera in the backfield. And we'll hand off to Escalera straight to gut, and he will get about 4 yards on that. He's good.
Spot him at the 9. Let's go, guys.
How big is Escalera? Because he takes some hits, doesn't he?
He does, buddy. That was an odd deal. It was a pop pass, kind of. I mean, he turned to the side and just kind of pop past it, like you'd see in those jet motions.
Right.
Tick, 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 tick.
Christian slinging it out to his left. He's got a wide receiver. Nice catch. Good job by the Coweta defense to keep him out of the end zone. Knocks him out.
Did he get the first, though?
I believe he did.
Who got the first down?
Was Baker?
Yeah, it was Baker.
It was Baker with the catch. Baker, and nice cover up there by Gage Ham.
Come on, guys.
Freshman safety for the Coweta Tigers. It's a pretty big deal. You're starting safety as a freshman on a 5A team. 5 interceptions this year, 43 tackles for the young man. Escalera, your tailback, and we've got a heavy set to the right. Running quarterback in of Alexander. He'll take snap, and he will follow him up into.
He gets about to the half-yard line.
About half-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 1, I believe. They walked him out just a hair.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Same play. Call it again. Let's go. Get up. Y'all need this.
2nd and goal from the 1.
I guess we're not supposed to be cheering for a team.
We're cheering for.
Oh, how'd they miss that face mask?
Well, I don't know. That was nasty.
Yes.
And this time Alexander, he's trying to run it out to the left, and he just.
They came on a run blitz there.
I think you're just better handing it to Escalera and just blowing it up the gut.
Yep.
So they lose a yard, maybe 2. Yep, 2 yards. So now 3rd and goal from the 3.
They're not going to get this play off. This quarter's going to end.
And the end of the 3rd quarter is upon us. 26-7, Coweta is in the lead. Heading into the 4th quarter. Tahlequah, 3rd and goal, and in a must touchdown score situation. So we shall see.
Yeah, see this guy, who's that 26, that middle linebacker. He'd seen that play run a couple times, and that time he just started coming downhill.
You know, that's Blake Garman. He's a junior.
He's a little bit undersized, but, buddy, you couldn't tell it.
He's. We'll take a quick commercial. We'll be right back.
This holiday season, sometimes it's nicer to be naughty. But no matter what, you're still on our list. Visit a Bravado Wireless store for the best holiday deals on the hottest phones. At Bravado Wireless, we believe in the power of connection.
You know, this Coweta defense, they're very young.
Yeah.
Junior, sophomore, freshman, sophomore, junior, sophomore.
It would have been interesting to take a look at their depth chart when they gave up 47 to this Tahlequah team, see how much has changed.
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to see what's changed on them. And Tahlequah, and they will roll it out. Oh. They had him open in the flat and just bad throw.
Just been that kind of night for him, man.
So this will be basically the game right here. Christian with a just a little counter, naked bootleg, and
he was going to somersault into the end zone.
Yeah, he was wide open, unable to connect with him.
Story of the night right there, man. You can sum it all up in that play.
So Tahlequah Tigers, this is a must-score situation right here. If they don't score, I'm afraid it's going to be a much more difficult road here. Timeout, Tahlequah. Coach Gilbert wants to talk about this, and I think he has the same thought. This is, if they don't score, that's going to be tough.
It may be a timeout to get into your quarterback's head, because, I mean, that was a big miss there. You got to make sure he knows that miss is behind him. Move on to the next play. We got to have you this play. Coweta's defense may be right. You show that same formation with the running quarterback for the little jump pass.
I was going to say who ran that. It was Coweta that ran that. You weren't with me that week. We were down in Idabel, and they did the jump pass for the win.
Because Shropshire had been effective running the ball. He had over 100 yards that night.
Oh, yes. And he had scored a touchdown, but he had bummed his knee up a little bit. Great play. I tell you what, that's even though
it's a shame that we're not getting that young man is done.
Yep. Handoff and to Escalera, and he will get to maybe the one. He will not get in. I like the play call. I just
I do too, man. That Coweta defender, I don't know where he came from, but that first hit, it didn't bring him down, but it sure knocked him sideways.
Yep. So I like the play call. Got it down to, unfortunately couldn't punch it in, but I think you should have rolled Escalera 2 downs ago.
Yeah, they've been rolling the pocket a little bit and catching them napping in the flats, you know. But Coach Gilbert's won a lot more ball games than you and I combined.
That's very, very true. So what do you do now? Coweta's backed up at their 1 yard line.
Buddy, I believe you got to sell out.
I think you got to send everybody.
Yep. Just tell the corners, hey, you're on an island, guys.
Hand off to, goodness gracious. And Pennington runs out for a 12-yard gain. He could have gone for the house.
The nose guard there, man, he blew up the center, but couldn't find the ball carrier. Like, you'll see it, man. He blew up that center and just couldn't find him. And 15 took a bad angle at it. That's tough, man.
1st and 10, and they're on the 13-yard line, and a heavy set for Coweta. Geneva will keep it and will do a little somersault for about a 3.5-yard gain.
Sitting at about 11:15 left in this final stanza. Costanza!
Couldn't stand you.
So we have changing personnel here for the 2nd down and 6. They're still, I mean, they're still snapping the ball with 25 seconds on the clock.
I think they're just wanting, focused on getting the ball, running it downfield. Short run brings it 3rd and 4 now.
Tahlequah, you saw that defender tackling the ball there, trying to jerk that ball out.
Trying to strip the ball out. And, yeah, Tahlequah's, they're fighting not only the scoreboard, but they're fighting the clock also.
We got 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5.
Geneva back to pass. He's got a wide receiver open, running an out pattern, and he will pick up almost 10 yards for a 1st down. He steps out of bounds.
You're at the time of the game where you can't give him those free yards, in my view. I think your corner's got to roll up and play press and make them throw at the beach over the top.
Yeah, you've got to gamble just a little bit more on defense. Kind of be a hero or a zero on this one.
Boy, man, they brought every big body they can have.
Geneva will keep it and will be tripped
Oh, he
up.
got tripped up.
Wow.
Nice. Well, he's still going.
How can he? What? Okay. Not to be I'm not trying to be one-sided, but I could have swore he was down.
Yeah, I want to see that replay because it looked like 76 from Tahlequah there. Nathaniel Justice. It's a little bit too late.
Yeah, I thought Justice had him.
I want to see it. That defies the law of physics because he sure looked like he was going down.
2nd and 1. Hard count. Tahlequah jumps off sides, and they'll get a free 1st down and 5 yards.
Yeah, Tigers are kind of sensing that their season's coming to an end, man. You know, they're trying to make a play, trying to get a head start on that snap, trying to make something happen in the backfield.
Well, here's a shocker on our Squirtle app. Philadelphia 35, Bristol 14. As Pennington fights forward for about a 4-yard gain. And this is in the 4th quarter.
Well, Bristol had a weird season.
Well, they won that district. No, they didn't. They finished 3rd in the district, didn't they? No,
nope,
second, excuse me. Total's up 9-0 on Oologah. Wagner is beating Fort Gibson 21-0.
Fort Gibson's keeping it respectable, man.
And Broken Bow's up 21-0. Stillwater's up on Muskogee 41-13. And Midwest City is beating Sapulpa. No big surprises anywhere there.
Check out that 3A bracket.
We're going to try Squirtle will behave here.
Now we're in a 3rd down, about 5. See what Tahlequah can do here as the clock's going to be under 8 minutes before they snap this. Now they're really starting to bleed the clock. I hope that everybody just keeps their edge, you know.
Geneva looks to pass and connects. We'll have a 1st down after about an 8-yard gain. Eufaula is beating Spiro 27-0. Vian's beating Hugo 68-8.
And they just ran that little high-low concept there. They flooded the side of the field as a zone buster. Had him sit down in that zone and pick up the 1st down.
Hand off to Pennington. Pennington will run to the right. Pick up maybe a yard. Idabel is beating Cassia Hall 33-0. Stigler up on Locust Grove 19-7. Berry Hill is still up on Seminole 19-7.
Man, Berry Hill's defense must be something else, man, because we've seen Seminole a couple times this year, and they can score.
They've got some horses.
How bad was Lincoln winning?
Yeah, Lincoln was. Yeah, they were.
They went back.
And quarterback run with Geneva.
Yeah, every time they went into that heavy set, the quarterbacks kept the ball. So, I mean, I know it's a little late in the game now, but we just got a key on them.
Gord is up on Wynnewood 24-14 in the fourth. And Holbert is up on Allen 22-13. Wayne is up on Sallisaw Central 12-6.
Oh, come on, Central. Get some of that late game magic.
They had it last week. Geneva calls out and hard count. This time the Tigers don't jump. They have two wide receivers up top and a timeout on Coweta with 6:09 left in the fourth quarter. And a 3rd and 3 upon them. So it will, unless the Tahlequah Tigers can mount just a crazy comeback, which I've seen it. Then more than likely Tahlequah season will be over, and Coweta will be traveling to Ardmore next week. Collinsville is beating Ada 41-7. Ardmore's beating Piedmont 42-6. Bishop Kelly has beat Skytook 31-0. Claremore is beating Edison 34-7.
Not a lot of surprises there.
No, not too many surprises.
I think maybe the margin that Skytook's losing by may raise an eyebrow somewhere.
Bishop Kelly, man, they are loaded. Heavy formation again. Look for Geneva to keep it on 3rd and 3, and he will.
Oh.
And taken down by Nathaniel
man.
Justice. And this will bring up a 4th and 1. Tell you what, Justice
has played a very good football game, man. It's 77 down there. Brandon Davis is still hooked up. You couldn't tell that they were staring at the end of their football careers, right in the eye.
Yeah, Justice has played it. We haven't called his name that much, but he has played a very nice ball game. And Coweta will punt and try to coffin corner it, and they
do.
Oh, they do. They get it right. That's such a nice punt. Get on about the 2-yard line. You know, they've punted the ball well tonight. Coweta has.
You know, it started right from the gate. Coach Hendricks touched on it. You know, this is the 3rd time they've played in the last year. And even in basketball, the adage is, man, it's hard to beat a good team. It's harder to beat them twice. You don't want to see them that 3rd time. You know?
No, and yeah, it's hard to beat them, and especially twice in football, getting them twice in one season.
And now you throw in 5 turnovers without your workhorse. You know,
in their own end zone, Christian will throw it out to the flat to Baker. Baker has the catch and will be pulled down at the 12-yard line, so that should be enough for a first down. Well, they've stepped it right back to 11.
Yeah, he's just going to be a little short here, and they said he stayed in bounds, too. I think the referees are cold.
They spun him out at the 12, and they're going to mark him in the other. Goodness gracious. 2nd down, 3 on top.
Oh, look at this.
And
oh, man,
Escalera busts up the hole. He's ran very tough.
Yep. That's going to be one of those things that get Coach Gilbert when he's just sitting home having a coffee in the morning. Man, what happens if I put him in early?
Right. 5 wide receivers. Christian takes the snap and gets Alexander. You know, one thing we haven't touched on is that offensive line for Tahlequah's done a nice job keeping.
It's Armstrong, my friend. But you got
Armstrong.
the A-Rod.
I got the A-Rod. Golly.
See right there, man, that's a teaching moment right there. That when he catches that ball, he's got to get out of bounds. The 2 yards that he gained aren't as important in the 15 seconds that we lost. And it was a
holding. But what I was saying was the Tahlequah offensive line has done a nice job of keeping Christian upright all night.
They have, man. And if, you know, we flashed the stats at halftime, and Tahlequah is being near 100 yards better than Coweta. This is one of those deals, but they also were 5 times better in the most important category, turnovers. At least for this game. You wonder if you talk to Coach Gilbert in an honest moment and say, man, if I told you in the 4th quarter you were going to, hey, they finally
nice
get a
little
break.
tip drill. Baker has it.
No, that's 11.
It's a good night. Will be brought down at the 43.
They finally got a tip in their favor. But if I told you you had 5 turnovers, you lost your leading rusher, your bell cow, where do you think you'd be sitting in the 4th quarter? I'm betting that he wouldn't have liked his odds very much.
No. But with all told, the kids have been playing well.
Yeah, I think that their defense has played really, really well tonight. I know the score doesn't flatter them, but I think that they've been put in some tough spots, man.
Christian looks and has good night once again. Good night spins, makes the first one miss. Will pick up 15 yards. Good night has
another senior.
405 yards receiving on the year. But, you know, he had a couple of drops. One of them led directly to an interception.
Yep. It wasn't necessarily that he dropped them. It was the tip. And
yeah, the tip passes. Yeah, he just got him back up.
We just happened to be right there, you know.
3:35. Clock continues to tick. And Christian.
I believe he got there a little early.
Yeah, maybe. But there was 3 wide receivers within 5 yards of each other, so I'm thinking there had to have been some confusion.
Yeah, and he's tipping where he's throwing the ball. He's not trying to look that safety off. He's depending on the scheme to get him open.
Well, and I've noticed that's the difference between Geneva and Christian. Geneva reads the defense a little bit better than Christian does. Christian might be a little bit more accurate. And nice pass over on the far sidelines when he drug out of bounds at the 22.
Yeah, they marked him in. They say he stayed in. It's Kobe Baker again. That little flat combo out of the slot, because they're running that cover 4 scheme, and that free safety is his man. He's got to come a long way to make that tackle. And usually he's catching somebody running at him, so he's made the first guy miss every time.
Christian back to pass, rolls to his right, directing traffic, throws it short to Goodnight. Goodnight's going to pick up the first down and a few more yards to be pushed out of bounds. And
there we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
He ran out of bounds that time, and they were trying to keep the clock spinning.
Ball's going to be spotted on the 7-yard line.
Every time they line up in this trip, let's see if they get Baker in the flat, but they've rolled that safety up now.
He was wanting to slant. Slant wasn't
there. Throw it away.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, he tipped his hat. He was looking for the slant. Slant was covered up. And then that was his hot route, and there wasn't anybody else open.
Well, they're trying to catch Baker in the flat again. But this time that safety rolled up in coverage. And he was head up on him. Baker's got enough wheels to where, see, now they went back to their regular defense. They could have.
And a Goodnight tries to bowl his way in. I think he may have got in. Nope, they say he stepped out of bounds at the
Is that Goodnight
6.
or Armstrong?
Well, my old eyes, I can't see that far.
I think that's Armstrong.
Sure it wasn't Alexander.
Hey, you can call him what you want.
He did a good job getting upfield.
Yep. Man. They say he stepped out early.
Yeah. And ball tipped over the middle and unable to be pulled down. So this will bring up 4th down and goal at the 6. I said the 8 earlier. It's a 6.
I think they got a bad spot on that. And they're going to swap the formations again.
Oh, we got some scores on the bottom of the screen.
Sure do.
Guthrie 20, Duncan 20. Oh, Blue Jays.
Against the Demons. Coach Rafe Watkins made his name there at Guthrie.
Man in motion. 4th down. He's going to roll to his left, and he's got it knocked away. And, folks, that'll be pretty much your Tahlequah Tigers season right there.
They'll finish up at 9-2. Coweta will be on the road again next week, looking to even their record at.
Yep. They'll be
500.
going to Piedmont, I believe, or excuse me, Ardmore next week.
That's a long, long drive.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, folks, if you've lasted this long with us, if you're a Tahlequah Tiger fan, do not be too upset. They had a good season.
Just a string of bad luck tonight, really. I mean,
start on that first offensive play.
Yeah, just scored it right out of the guy that's rushed for, what, 1,500 yards? Is that what you said?
Right.
Going in to take an early lead and maybe send Coweta to the showers thinking, man, we are 4-6. Instead, they get the ball, and, man, in the first quarter, it was just a battle of the punters. And then Coweta got a spark when the first tip drill happened, and they hadn't looked back since.
Yeah, Tahlequah just couldn't get it to bounce their direction at all. 5 turnovers first half, put them in a huge hole.
We got a minute 30 left now, and I'm sure Coach Gilbert and Coach Holt are over there. I know it was a first down, but keep that clock spinning. Let's get on out.
Well, I would almost expect to see the victory formation right here.
Coach Holt's thinking, he's probably thinking about Ardmore right now. Meeting that Piedmont coach somewhere or whoever Ardmore beat to get some film and start thinking about how they're going to take down the next giant.
So Coweta will move their record to 5-6, and Tahlequah will end their season on a 9-2 record. Nothing to hold your head about. I know it's not the way the Tahlequah Tigers wanted to go out, but
the quarterback came up limping, man. No, but as a coach of high school, man, I mean, it's just life isn't always going to be how you want it, fellas. I mean, you gotta move on. Didn't end how we wanted, but there'll be a lot more times in your life where things don't turn out how you wanted. It's how you respond to that.
So Poto has finished off Oologah. They won 16-0. Fort Gibson lost to Wagner 21-0, and Coweta is your winner here at Doc Wadley Stadium. They won the first round playoff game against the hometown Tahlequah Tigers here at Northeastern State University. And so that'll do it for us tonight. 26-7, your final. And we're going to sit here and go through some scores real quick on Squirtle. Poto has beat Oologah 16-0. Wagner beat Fort Gibson 21-0. Hilldale upset Bristow 35-21. Wow, look at that. And then Broken Bow is beating Catoosa 21-0. Let's see some of our teams in 3A. how they're doing. And Stigler has beat Locust Grove 33-7. At least they're leading late in the fourth quarter. And Seminole is, it says still at halftime, 19-7, so we need to see what's going on there. Ida Bell's beating Casher 33-0. So we'll continue to check on these scores. And folks, so be watching. Next week we'll have where we're going Monday or Tuesday. And follow us again on Bravado TV. And for myself, Eric Shannon, and this is my co-host.
I am Brian Show.
And folks, thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you next Friday night. And as he always says,
have a great day if you want to.
We'll see you next week on Bravado TV.
Big wireless companies keep getting bigger and bigger, but their coverage where you live is still small. At Bravado Wireless, we provide the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month, right here in Eastern Oklahoma. You deserve to connect fast to your family, friends, and colleagues, wherever they are, with no interruptions and no excuses. Don't buy into big. Go bold. Go Bravado. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
This holiday season, sometimes it's nicer to be naughty. But no matter what, you're still on our list. Visit a Bravado Wireless store for the best holiday deals on the hottest phones. At Bravado Wireless, we believe in the power of connection.